right.
And we are back.
Ah.
All right, yeah. So the reverie, the flirtation, all of that comes to a stop as this he's a boy really, he's not even really a man yet, stumbles in through the door, screams, "Goblins, goblins at the edge of town." And he collapses on himself in the doorway. Immediately, the militia members put down their drinks and they start rushing out. And they kind of leave the boy to there.
Thrandil's gonna get up. He's gonna yell, "Joffrey!" And he's gonna run over and kind of do like a knee slide across the floor and just like put pressure on the wound. Boy, still, boy, you have been gut shot. You're bleeding out. And then I'm gonna kind of go into a calm state, and I'm gonna start like reciting some words like, "Hold that, I'm gonna until I'm not still under the heel." And with that, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on him.
All right. How many HP do you recover?
He will recover 5 HP.
5. So okay. So you've knelt down. You've rolled him over because he fell face down. You've rolled him over. You're kind of holding him in his lap. And what's it look like when Thrandil casts this spell?
Yeah, so he's just like in this calm state, both hands over the wound, kind of holding pressure. And then as he starts speaking the words, you see like green light kind of echo out from his hands, and you can see the wound start to kind of like weave together the flesh, and the blood begins to curdle and dry up and kind of almost like crust away as the wound starts to heal, but can't fully,
He kind of coughs and he looks down and he reaches up towards your face and he goes, "Thrandil, thank you. Thank you. There was a caravan. Oh, so many dead. You've got to go. You've got to help him."
Lie still. We'll get you help. Just stay here. I'm gonna yell over. Logan, make sure he gets the help he needs. He's gotta go. I'm gonna kind of get up and just kind of rush out the door. And for the sake of it, I'm gonna say kind of like my bag, my bow, and my cloak are just kind of like laying outside by maybe like a stack of barrels or something. I'm gonna like run over and just haste.
As you run out the door, I need you to make a perception check for me.
Okay. 9.
Okay, you don't notice it.
I'm just like, I'm gonna rush.
Yep, you're going. And Logan's gonna run over to this body, and I would say Mordella and Winter, even upstairs, you heard this commotion, and it sounded like, even though it was more like 12 guys ran out, but like it sounded like 50 men all charged out of that door at the same time. And Logan's gonna run over to Joffrey, and he's gonna look around at those of you who are left. And he's be like, "God damn it, you're either gonna help me with the boy or you're gonna go and help them with the goblins."
Yeah, I got no medical. I'm going with the goblins. So I'll and I would think when I go into kind of battle mode, my first reaction is gonna be like, as I do the shield, I'm also going to cast my echo, so it will startle people, but I'll just think it's normal and I will go out the door. I'm assuming Vraak's gonna be passed out at the bar, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's how we're gonna work it. Vraak just got 2 in her cups.
Okay. And I'm gonna turn around and be like, and if I come back and there's one hair on her head that's fucked with, y'all gonna die. And then I walk out, run out.
You get the feeling that Vraak's probably the least of anybody's concern right now as Logan's dragging this boy and getting him up on a table. What about you, Timber? You just saw this whole scene play out in front of you.
Yeah, and the guy came up, he's like, you're either helping with the boy. And Timber's like, well, I mean, technically that's a bit of a false conundrum because I have plenty of other... Never mind. Yeah,
Look at his eyes.
I can't help it.
Either you're fighting goblins or you're fighting me now.
Okay, fair. I can read a room. He floats down off the bar stool and starts walking towards the door and goes outside.
So Mordella and Winter, you guys come down, and you're there just as you see Ildain and her echo and Timber headed out, looking like they're headed out on a mission. You guys see this boy laid there bloody. Logan looks up at you and he screams, "Goblin attack, south side of town. Help if you can, with either the boy or the goblins."
Mordella's gonna look and say, "Goblins."
Winter gives her a nod and says, "Then I'll see you out there after I help the boy. Be safe." And
I shall.
she goes and she touches the boy's shoulder, and she casts Cure Wounds. And as she does it, she's singing, but it's not like a song. There's no words. It's just, it kind of sounds like, however the people around her interpret that as a sound is how they hear it. But she just sings peace as she tries to heal this boy for 6 HP.
Now, narratively, we are going to say that he is exhausted and that he's unconscious, but between the two of you, you have double healed his hit points, so we are good. So Logan's like, "I've got it from here. If you're going to help, go with them to the south side of town."
Winter nods at him, takes one look at the boy, and then runs out the door.
Okay, and as you guys are kind of following this crowd of militiamen running to the south, you hear the battle scene before you see it. And you guys come up, and if you look in table-specific maps under Wednesday Warriors, the battle is going to be spread out in multiple areas. The ones between the militia and goblin, those are going to happen off screen, if you were, and this is going to be your guys' encounter. And you can see the blood splattered across the path where Joffrey made his run to come and alert the town. But you see this caravan, and it's rather one of the wagons is rather ornate. It looks like somebody pretty important was in it, and it's mixed in with some plain ones and some that were carrying supplies. And you guys see the dead bodies around. And as you come up to this scene, you don't see any goblins at first. I need Timber to make a perception check.
I like how it's got
16.
the bloody footprints on the map, if I may point that out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. 16, if that didn't come across.
16. Okay, so as you step up to this, you see that body laying next to the box on the right side, in between the two trees. There's a very distinct scar on that man's face, and it happens to be something that you were looking out for. But before you can even register that, the goblins come from behind the trees, and I need everybody to roll initiative.
If I can, real quick, Max, congratulations, man. I think you're like the first person who passed a freaking perception test today.
Yeah, thanks. I'm
You've
eager
been
to
doing
see if
so
we can keep
bad
that
on
going.
those.
Conversations about all the goblin
Trust me,
attacks that have
man.
been
I'm like,
happening lately.
freaking A, man. Freaking A. It is what it is. Sometimes the dice just say what they say, but holy cow.
Winter got 21.
$21 for Winter.
Mordella has 20.
Okay, Mordella has
Timber
20.
also has 20.
How do you guys want to do that?
Let's see here. Go ahead, Timber. You can go first.
Okay.
Might be 17.
What was that, Eric? You kind of broke up.
Sorry, 17. I want to move a little closer. I think my audio is like dropping out all the good stuff.
Ildain got a 16. I thought I rolled really well.
What's your dex?
Mine?
Yeah.
13 plus 1.
Wow. Okay. You are going to go last, Ildain. And the goblins go right before you. All right, so to kind of lay out the scene there, from up on these little hills surrounding the caravan, you guys see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goblins. And then another goblin who seems to be wearing a little bit better armor, sitting on top of a warg. And who all speaks goblin?
Nobody?
I do.
Okay, so Timber, you hear the one on the warg as he raises his makeshift sword and screams, "Attack!" And Winter, you were up first. So if you look
Returns
at
the
that
group.
map,
He's like, I don't quite get the dialect, but they're definitely gonna attack us now, guys.
so you guys on that map are coming up from this south side where the bloody footprints are.
Hey, I got a quick question, Frankie. I got a familiar with me. You want me to roll initiative for the familiar or just take it on my turn?
Just go ahead and take your familiar's turn on your turn.
I like it.
All right, Winter.
Winter is going to cast Dissonance Whisper, which is a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice can hear, racking you with terrible pain. And she's going to target the ward, and she's going to have it be like this piercing, like dog whistle, like on that like frequency that only dogs can hear. So the ward must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, 1 second. Not a very good check for them. That is a 14.
So my DC is a 14, so they save.
Makes it, it breaks it. Yep.
Yep. So it takes half damage. So that's 13 damage halved, so 6 damage psychic. Yeah.
I round up, so
It
it's gonna be
does-
7.
Okay, 7 psychic damage, and it doesn't have to move away from me. But I do think if it is a ward and it's taking the psychic damage, it should at least try to buck its rider off.
I think it made it save, so it's not gonna try to buck its rider off this time around.
That's fair.
Nice try, though. I appreciate the attempt. You got any
Thank
bonus
you.
actions you want to do?
Not right now. That's my turn.
All right, Timber, you were up. Mordella, you were on deck.
All right. So what's the general area these folks are in? These goblins, are they within like 20 feet of each other? Are they spread out?
They're kind of spread out. I would say, if you look at those little hills on that map, I'd say 3 of them are on the right side and 2 of them are on the left side, kind of on that taller hill. And then the goblin boss and the warg are kind of towards what would be the backside of the caravan for you guys. He's the furthest away.
All right. So what I am going to do is I'm going to fly up in the air 30 feet, and I'm going to cast sleep on the 3 that are on the hill. I guess we'll call this the east side of the map.
Yep.
I'll cast sleep on those 3, which, sorry, I should have had my dice ready.
Yep. Roll up the hit points.
Bad. So 15, 19 plus 21 hit points worth of goblins put to sleep.
All 3 of them. All over.
All right. And yep, that is my turn.
Remind me, the sleep lasts how long?
1 minute.
So
Or
10
if somebody
turns.
shakes
They
them.
are just out.
Yeah, or if somebody shakes or hits them. Yep.
Awesome. Mordella, or you got any bonus action? Sorry about that.
That is it. I am done. Thank you.
Alrighty. Mordella, you were up.
Is the warg rider within 60 feet of our position?
Well, let me take a look. Yeah, I'd say he's about 55 feet away.
Fantastic. Mordella's gonna first point towards the ground, and a snake's gonna crawl out from her arm onto the ground and start moving towards the goblins. But then she's going to point at the warg riding goblin, and I'm gonna need you to make a wisdom saving roll, or he is going to become frightened by the cause fear spell.
Ooh, he's got a -1 to this. What's the DC?
It is 15. 1-5.
That's a 10, so he got a 9. So he is frightened. Let me write that down.
So he can't willingly move closer to me because I'm the source of his fear. He also has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, while me, the source of his fear, is within his line of sight. And Mordella's gonna kind of growl at him to stay back. And that's gonna be the end of her turn.
Yeah, so this goblin, he was looking confident as he screamed and held up his sword, and he like locks eyes with you, and then just suddenly starts shaking. You can hear his little makeshift armor kind of clanging. Thrandil, you're up.
Okay. I'm kind of gonna close in quickly at first, and then I'm gonna like slow down and kind of purvey the battlefield here. With my longbow, I need to be at least 50 yards away from my target, so I'm gonna kind of stay in the back. Do I see a rather healthy-looking goblin who's standing up?
Oh yeah, there's 3 of them to your left, or 2 of them to your left on the hill. The 3 on the right, you watch them just fall over asleep, and then 55 feet ahead of you is the goblin boss on the back of a warg.
55 feet, you say?
Yep.
Because my longbow needs 150 feet, could I say I got within 150 feet of him?
Oh yeah, you're definitely in range.
Or I have to be farther than
Oh, you're gonna have to
150.
move back. What's your movement speed? Because you were 55.
At the first round, it's 45 feet.
Yeah, so you can take the attack. Just if you wanted to get 155 feet, Next turn you can make it.
Okay.
Can
Okay.
I ask really quick? Do you get like a special type of bonus for being so far back?
Actually, I think you roll with disadvantage if I'm under my weapon's range.
But don't you have the sharpshooter feat?
I do, which means I don't get disadvantage
You
on.
can cancel it out and make a straight roll if you wanted from your distance
Gotcha.
you're at now. But that would take your bonus action.
Sure. Yeah, I'm good with that. Good with that. Okay, so my first shot, I'm gonna go ahead and roll my Dread Ambusher. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw my bow back and take my first shot without sharpshooter.
On the boss, right?
The farthest standing healthy goblin.
Yep, okay.
All right, so I rolled a dirty 20.
Definitely hits.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit him for 11 damage. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw back my bow once more and hit him with my regular shot. With sharpshooter, I should call out. Not very good. Very good. That will be a dirty 1.
I think sharpshooter only
Oh.
works for one attack anyways.
Okay.
So your second shot would have been with disadvantage, but since you rolled a 1, you missed. So we're going to say that you hit him with that first one, and the second one, you don't know.
It would have been
It would have been what?
It would have been a 10 on the second shot. So I messed up my math.
Oh, okay. But you rolled a 1?
No, I rolled a 6, and then I had
okay.
the half. 5, so it would have been plus 4. I don't know why I thought it was negative, but yeah, so it would have been a dirty 10.
Okay, there you go. And we're going to say that because the first one hit him, and it's a long bow at short range, it hit him with such force that it caused him to go back, and the second shot went wide. And now we are on the goblins. 3 of them I can't even go for because they're asleep. So we're going to say the 2 up on the hill there, they see you guys just taking pot shots at their boss, and he's shaking, so he is going to, let me roll a d6. He is going to take his crossbow shot at Mordella. And he definitely misses. He rolled a 6. Next one. Does a 13 hit?
15 is Mordella's AC.
Yeah, they both miss. And now we go down to the goblin boss. And he is bloodied, by the way, and not looking at all as brave as he did when you guys first pulled up. And
At the end of his turn, he's allowed to make another wisdom saving throw to break the fear effect.
well, that is good because he immediately turns this warg and starts heading the other way. And the warg's movement speed is 50 feet. So now he's at good range for you as the warg has started to run off. And what was the DC on the wisdom save? He's got a -1, so he's probably not going to.
15. 1-5.
That's a nat 1, so he definitely does not break the fear. Ildain, you are up.
Okay, so okay, so there's 5 goblins, 3 of them are asleep, 1 goblin on a warg is now yeeting the other way.
Yeah. He was
Okay.
frightened, and goblins are cowards, so he immediately got hit by that arrow and went, you know what? Nope. But there are two to your left.
Then what I'm gonna do is okay. How close are they?
The 2 on your left, I'd say you could get there in 30 feet if you had 30 feet of movement.
I have 25. But I am gonna go 25 feet, and then I'm going to put my echo kind of close to one of them, or in between the 2 of them. So that way, if they
for
move,
narrative reasons, what's it look like when Ildain splits her echo off?
just kind of, I don't know, like I kind of imagine like it's just this thing stepping out from her. Like all of a sudden there's Ildain, and then all of a sudden there's Ildain, like diet Ildain to the next to it, like kind of a shimmery or whatever.
Is it like when in the movie Predator when Predator goes invisible?
Ooh, that'll work.
Or is it translucent?
Like semi-translucent. I think it's supposed to be like semi-translucent.
Yeah, okay.
Let me see here. It's translucent gray image of you that lasts until destroyed, or I dismiss it.
Ooh, what
So
if
kind
it's
of
your
like
shadow
this-
that just stands up right off the floor,
That'll work.
like Peter Pan?
I like
Yeah.
that.
That'll work.
I like
Yep.
that. Almost
So,
just gotta
yeah,
roll
so-
another fear save for him.
Hey, go ahead. That'd be great.
No,
Any
I'm not giving you
intimidation,
extra
I'll take.
powers. Echo Knights
Yeah.
are already broken.
So they're gonna see this thing just kind of split off and head towards them. And then I'm going to take the attack action so I can actually attack from the echo. And so the echo is going to use their longsword and attack. Is there one that's less hurt or more hurt?
These two on your left haven't been touched yet.
And hit. Okay. Then just I guess pick one, and it's 15 plus 7 is 21 to hit.
Definitely hits.
And a D8.
I'm thinking
That's
I didn't put a good enough encounter together
3.
for a level 3 party.
Babe. It's 12 slashing damage.
How do you want to do this?
I don't know, like, I guess because it's a shadow, just kind of split it right down the middle. Just everything,
Yeah.
like with the shadow, if the echo kills something, it's got to like split it in half somehow.
Yeah, and plus it was
That would be her
double its
go-to.
it was double its hit points and damage. So Ildain runs forward, and these goblins kind of brace because they're expecting her to run all the way up. And then this goblin is completely off guard as this shimmery version of yourself jets forward and just brings down this long sword, and one half falls left, one half falls right, and the guts just spill out down the middle onto the ground into a pile. And the other goblin looks, and he does not look like he wants to be here anymore.
I might actually I'm gonna blow my whole wad here. I'm gonna take an action surge.
Go ahead.
And then I will attack the one on the other one that's not hit. And that's a 15 plus 7 is 22 to hit.
Yes, it hits.
And same damage, 12 damage.
Mercy.
After watching that, you watch as his knees are kind of trembling, and he looks up over his crossbow at you, and he looks like he's about to say something, but you just slash this long sword, and his head goes tumbling down to the ground.
And I'm just gonna say something like "Who's next?" or some weird shit.
And
That's
Winter,
it for me.
We are up to you now. At the moment, you have a goblin boss riding away on a warg, who is now about 100 feet from you. And there are 3 sleeping goblins to your right on top of this little hill underneath a tree.
What's the range of a short bow?
Okay, so I messed up these bow rolls. So basically, what a bow does is you always get disadvantage within 5 feet. And the first number is how far you can shoot up to. So longbows up to 150 feet without disadvantage. And then 150 feet to 600 feet would be disadvantage. If you have sharpshooter, you can shoot up to 600 feet without disadvantage. And then anything farther than that, you can't hit. So if you click on your short bow, it should tell you the minimum range and the maximum range.
She's got a handwritten sheet, but I can look it up for
Yeah.
you
Off
real
the
quick.
top of my head, I want to say the short bow is like 150 feet long range. I think short range is like 60 feet, like up to 60 feet. You're not shooting with disadvantage.
It's 8320.
Yep, 8320. So you got all the way out to 320 feet before you got disadvantage.
Well, 80 feet for disadvantage, then 80 to 320 would be
Oh, yeah,
disadvantage.
you're right. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay,
I'm so glad you
with
cleared that up.
disadvantage,
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Or you can move forward because you got 30 feet of
Yeah,
movement, right?
I have 40.
Oh, well, then you can cut it down to a 60-foot lead that he's got.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go up to my full movement, and then I am going to get my short bow, and I'm gonna aim for the ward's ass.
Shoot it up.
That is a 14.
That's a hit.
Woo! Hit a ward in the butt. Which is 1d6. That 8 piercing damage.
All right. Yeah, you run up, kind of stepping over some of these bodies. You pull the bow back, you take the shot. The arrow lands right in the rear haunch. It kind of stumbles to the side a little bit. But otherwise, it doesn't seem like it's too terribly hurt yet, but it is trying to escape. And now we are on Timber, unless you had a bonus action you wanted to do.
Nope, I'm good.
All right, Mr. Mcsunshine.
All right, so Timber, absolutely. So Timber kind of flits down onto the hill where the three are asleep, and pulls a dagger out of his belt, and just goes right up to one of the ones that's asleep, and attempts to shove this dagger right up under its chin.
It's asleep. Attack
and
with
I believe
advantage.
Yep. That's a crit. That's a natural. That's a nat 20.
You can roll damage if you want to, but I don't think we need to, as you know. So whatever your total damage is, roll the dice and add it on.
Yeah, so that's gonna be with a dagger. 4, 7, 12 piercing damage.
Yeah. How do you want to kill him? I think this is kind of cold. Like, this thing's asleep, man. You are dark.
Yeah. Yeah, so and I'm hoping, because I'm kind of on an elevated hill, that I'm not really visible to the rest of the party as I do this. But I pull out my dagger and I jab it like straight up underneath its chin. And as it wakes up for that second, I just lock eyes with it. I was like, yeah, look at me. Look at me. All right. And then as it start, yeah, no, you're with me. Don't let it go yet. Don't do it. And then finally, when everything fades, I just pull the dagger out and wipe it off of my pants and walk away.
Anybody who wants to make a perception check may.
Roll to see if he's John Wick.
No, that just I got Band of Brothers, or not Band of Brothers. What was the movie with Tom Hanks again?
Oh, Saving Private
Saving
Ryan.
Private Ryan, yeah.
Shh, shh, as he's putting the dagger down at him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, 10 on a
bonus action.
perception check, so I don't know if I saw that or not,
No.
but I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nope, no bonus action. I'm just gonna stand in between these other two sleeping bodies.
All right, Mordella, that pulls you up. So you got your fairy friend who flew up on top of this hill where you saw those 3 goblins go to sleep. Now there's only 2 of them, and then you've got the other one who's about 100 feet away, riding off on a ward.
So I'm going to have my snake crawl up to the hill and maybe just grapple one of the goblins that's sleeping, like just kind of coil around it. Not squeeze it or anything, just to basically tie him up, more or less. And she's content to just concentrate on her spell, so I guess, I don't know, hold her action. If any combatant should come within melee range, she will attack that person.
All right, that works. I'm going to say for now, he doesn't get a check to save from the grapple from your familiar, so that one is tied up.
I mean, it's not a huge snake, but he's also a goblin, so I'm like, it's probably doable.
All right, Thrandil, you're back up.
All right. The guy on the warg. Can I tell if he's looking hurt?
The warg or the goblin?
The goblin riding the warg.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's bloodied. And that's why he's getting out of there. He's feeling that arrow you put in his shoulder.
I'm gonna try to hit him in the back with a long shot and finish him off. A 19.
That is a hit.
Ooh.
That would be 11 points of damage.
One more than he needed. This warg is running off with this rider, and you just let this bow go across the field. It flies, and he's thinking he's getting away. The warg could take the hits, and nope, it just hits him square in the back, and he just slumps over, and the warg is still going.
Yeah.
Bonus actions?
Nope, I end my turn.
All
Awesome.
right, I've got 2 sleeping goblins and a warg. The warg's going to move 50 more feet. Now it doesn't have anybody driving it, so it's now 150 feet away. I can't do anything for the other goblins that are asleep. So, Ildain, you are up, and these other goblins are asleep on the hill across the road from you, so I'm going to say it's about 60, 65 feet.
So I can't make it there with both of us.
For all intents and purposes,
So I'm just
do you guys
gonna.
intend on just leaving one goblin alive or 2? That's the important thing, probably at this point. We need.
I'm
to
not
know.
planning on killing any of them. I was just gonna plan on trying to detain them and let the town do whatever they want to do with them.
I don't know. Like I
Mordella's not really like
think
in it for the kill, but she also recognizes that like the town's not gonna be happy if she's like, well, 2 of them were just sleeping, so I left them sleeping there. Like she's more pragmatic than that. So she has an explorer's pack, I think. Or no, maybe I have a priest pack. I'll have to check. But either way, if she's got some rope, she'll offer to tie him up.
I
But she
have
doesn't have
a
any rope. So I
Actually,
lied.
I'm wondering, since Mordella grew up secluded in the Coven, you are surrounded by carnage, and I don't know how she would take that. There are gutted women and men here. There's blood everywhere. This is a scene of carnage.
Yeah, this is probably something she's never seen before like this, you know. I'm sure she's probably had to defend herself against a wild beast, maybe even you know, angry villager once or twice or something, but this level of carnage is pretty sickening, as everything's dying down and these goblins are asleep and now there's not an immediate threat as she's kind of looking around at everything. Maybe she kind of retches a little bit and stands behind a tree and just kind of has to collect herself.
And I don't think I would kill them in their sleep. Just because I don't think after being a soldier that would be an honorable death. Like if you're coming at me, yeah, I'm gonna take you out, but I don't think that I would do it while they're asleep. So I'm probably going to use my turn to kind of go to the carnage and make sure we didn't miss anybody like being alive. Maybe
Make an
pat
investigation roll.
okay. And I might like pat Mordella on the back like they're there. Kind of like but let's
She
see.
just kind of
You
nods
said
weakly, like, I'll be okay. I just need to collect myself.
you said investigation?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an 8. God damn.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just you don't think anybody is still alive, but you are kind of turned away at the level of carnage you've seen. I mean, you're a veteran fighter, but still, at least in war and typical battles, there's a little more civility, and this is bestial in the way it was performed.
Okay.
So there's still a little.
Then
bit.
yeah, I'd probably go off towards Mordella and I am a dwarf and she's kind of like a human, so I would try my best to not like slap her on the back and do like kind of a there, but
Right.
you know, like not like take her down on
Yeah, I know what you
accident.
mean. It's still a
So
strong
awkward
pat on the
pat.
back, like,
Yeah.
ooh. Yeah, she definitely feels it. Having probably never met a dwarf before, she's just like, holy shit, that person's strong.
All right, Winter and Timber. Are you guys keen to let the goblins live, or do you want to see them dead?
So Winter is very much a person who is death is the last resort, because if you can blackmail them, they're under your control, and it's better to have a servant than a corpse. And she does have the spell Zone of Truth, so I think she'd go up to Timber, note the fact that one of them is already dead of the three, and go, if you want, we can find answers first, but if you really need them dead, I'm not going to stop you.
Now Timber responds, nope. I have no desire to kill this one. Woke up when I went to check to see if he was okay, and I had to defend myself. But I am perfectly fine letting these others live.
You can go ahead and roll deception against her, and you can roll an insight check, Winter.
Thank you.
I got a 4.
I got a dirty 20.
You don't know why
Yeah,
the
that's
little
better.
fairy is lying to you.
420.
But the little fairy's lying to you, but you're a little distracted to do anything about it right now. But you just know in your mind that he lied to you. This thing didn't wake up.
Next time I do that, if somebody wants to remind me I have a negative charisma modifier, that's fantastic. Yeah.
It's alright. I think that's awesome to have a character with a bad charisma score try to lie all the time. Like, that's fucking hilarious, dude.
Great.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna say
also
you guys tie him up. Oh, go ahead, Winter.
I don't think that Winter actually cares that much about what Timber is lying about. Like, she doesn't care that he's lying about this guy waking up. I think she cares more about the fact that he's lying to her. Like, it's like a personal thing. Like, that's just rude. That's like all she cares about. Not what the lie is about, but the fact that it was lying to her. Like, lie to other people doesn't matter, doesn't care. But lie to her, that's a personal slight. She's gonna judge you a little.
I love it. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna say you guys go ahead and tie up these goblins, and the minute wears off, and they wake up, and they look down at their hands and feet being bound, and their eyes just light with rage. And being the only one that speaks Goblin, Timber, you just start hearing the expletives roll out. You motherfuckers, I'll eat your fucking hearts. Let me go. As they start struggling against their bonds. And I'm going to make a strength check real quick. Yeah, they got a -1 modifier. They are trying in vain to break these bonds.
We'll bind you
So
further
I
if
just-
you don't stop. Mordella says truthfully. We can put a blindfold on you, we can gag you. Just relax.
They look at you and say in comment, I'll eat your fingers, bitch.
That's not necessary. Did
Yeah.
you see your poor friends to the other side of the road, the ones that are, in pieces?
They didn't see that. They were asleep, but they turn their heads and they look. And then they look back at you guys. And they get kind of quiet.
Timber kind of turns the group. I was like, hang on just a second. He flies down to the body of the guy with the scar on his face and starts like looting through his stuff. Because he needs to know if he needs to ask these goblins. Yeah.
You guys notice as the fairy just leaves you and goes
Yeah.
straight to one of the bodies and starts digging through it.
Mordella's a little bit shocked to see him like immediately start looting and not even like fully check if the person's, 100% dead. Like, what? Okay.
That I got a 26.
Yeah,
So
and I imagine this is like panic searching as well.
it is. It is. It is absolutely panic searching. Like there's a little
Yes.
like shit. No, it's got to be here.
So on his person, you find a folded note, 15 gold pieces, 25 silver,
Rich.
a strange key. It's kind of ornate and engraved. But you don't find any kind of small box or package that you may have been looking for. Is everybody still there, or do we freeze? Of course. Discord shit the bed. Of course.